Episode 218. Today we preview what's happening down on the farm, talk some Altoona playoff baseball, recap the last games of the season for down on the farm, and are joined by current Altoona Curve pitcher, Joshua Loeschorn. You're listening to the Bucko Banter podcast, brought to you by the Just Baseball Media Network. Cue the music.
Rockin' 101, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Or the steak by the plates, and in case after case, run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snake.
Welcome back to another episode of Down on the Farm. We had another fun pitching discussion with Mr. Joshua Loeschorn, and we're going to dive into the Yoffs because officially Greensboro's season is over, and so is Bradenton's. So lots to talk about, but let's just jump right into it, Adam.
Yeah, down on the farm, Callan Moss led the South Atlantic League in batting average, 339, with an on-base percentage of 422, slugging 571, OPS 993 from August 2nd through the end of the season. So from a trade that everybody was scratching their heads over to, hey, did they find something here? Are the bats like finally starting to turn around in this organization where we're very arm heavy? We talked about that with Joshua Loeschorn later on in the episode of just the amount of talent they have on the pitching side of things, but you really weren't seeing it in the batter's box. To now, you have the number one prospect in baseball, like just recapping from this year, because again, we're coming towards the end here. There's a couple games left. I know we got the playoffs, but from the very beginning, you didn't know what Connor Griffin was going to be, to now where you could count off a few names outside of Connor Griffin that could potentially contribute down the road. I mean, Callan Moss, if he can continue on this trajectory, your guy, Edward Florentino, is a name to look after that finished the year in Bradenton. So
top 100 prospect.
Yeah, top 100 prospect. A lot of exciting stuff, man.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And then in the Arizona Fall League, that was announced this past week. We're going to have Derek Diamond, Joshua Loeschorn, Dominic Parachi, Carlson Reed's going to get some extra innings, Jaden Woods, Tony Blanco Jr., Will Taylor as Merlin Valdez, Tony Blanco Jr. Let's talk about it for a second because he's a fridge of a human being. Like
I think there's going to be some insane home runs hit out in Arizona by him. And also you're going to notice a pattern here. A lot of these guys, especially the arms, are guys that maybe started the season late and need more work and more innings. And Tony Blanco is a guy that started the season late. So I'm excited to see him go up against some much better arms than he faced in Bradenton.
Yeah. And then Will Taylor is another one too, man, where a college bat, a ton of athleticism. We've had him on the pod, just super competitive guy. And I think he's someone who it might take a little bit longer to develop and to like truly see that athleticism on a day-to-day basis, like, and get those results. But in a small sample size, I really like what I've seen from him this year. The numbers might not speak for it, but anytime you get to have these guys go out to Arizona and compete against the game's best prospects, it's going to be good for their development.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yeah.
I bet on these guys that are athletes, and I think he's a guy that will figure it out and make the adjustments.
For sure. And then Thursday, friend of the show, Christian Curtis, promoted to Altoona. He had a 3.98 ERA with 116 Ks and 108 and 2/3 innings pitched for Greensboro this year. Left-handed pitcher Connor Weekreef and right-handed pitcher Joshua Loeschorn, who we'll talk to later in the episode, were also promoted to Double-A Altoona. Friday, Po Yu Chen, Valentin Linares, and infielder Jesus Castillo promoted to Triple-A Indianapolis. Alika Williams was placed on the IL. Surprised we didn't see even a single major league inning from Alika Williams this year.
Yeah, he actually had a pretty good AAA season too, with all that being said. So I was a little bit surprised by that too. We saw more G1 Bay than Alika Williams. Wouldn't have bet on that, maybe because he has the outfield versatility, but interesting to say the least. I will say this too. Altoona heads into the playoffs. We have one more week with Indianapolis. They have the Braves AAA affiliate down in Gwinnett, I believe. It's their last series of the year. I would believe that they are in playoff contention at 82-61. But Altoona, first round of the playoffs starts tomorrow in Altoona against the Erie Seawolves, the Tigers AA affiliate. And it is going to be a showcase of two of the game's best prospects, Connor Griffin versus Kevin McGonigal. And it's going to be a really fun watch. I'm going to try to watch as much of it as I possibly can, but talk about a great first round matchup.
Max Clark's over there too, isn't he?
Max Clark, Jose Briseño. I mean, they're loaded.
Right. That Tigers organization is awesome to watch, but really looking forward to it, man. But let's do this. Let's jump into the games. And before we do, did you place any bets on football this Sunday?
So many.
So many. And I don't like the tone that you said that in. I'm assuming you lost.
I hit a couple. I hit a couple here and there.
Okay. And was there a strategy that you used at all, or you were just going willy-nilly?
No, not willy-nilly. For the ones I hit, I was using our app, Rhythm.
The data-backed one, easy to use, no spreadsheets, shows you your best return on investment. That one?
Yeah, that one.
Okay, that's what I thought. With just baseball, man, you go to Rhythm, all caps, just baseball 50, you get 50% off the entire year. What better time now to start really diving into your bets than NFL football season, right? Or even the MLB playoffs. You got it all on Rhythm. You could try it free for 7 days and bet smarter with Rhythm. Scott, let's go to Indianapolis. They were facing the Iowa Cubs, the AAA affiliate for the Cubs. Indianapolis is 82-61. Tuesday, Eddie Yean, 3 innings, 2 hits, no earned, 1 walk, 7 Ks. Justin Lawrence, before getting called up to the Buccos, 1 inning, 2 Ks. Brandon Boudoir continues to be nasty. 2 innings, no hits, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Wednesday, Rafael Flores hit his 7th home run on the year, 3 RBIs. Thursday, Hunter Barco, 3 innings, 2 hits, no earned, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Sawinski rehab stint, he slugged his 13th home run on the season. And then Friday, Dombrowski, 6 1/3, 1 hit, no earned, 3 walks, 11 strikeouts with a 5.83 ERA on the year. And then Valentin Linares, his AAA debut, 1 2/3, no hits, 1 walk, 1 K. Saturday, Eddie Yean opened the game, 3 innings, 1 hit, no earned, 2 walks, 1 K. Rafael Flores went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. And then Sunday, Brandon Boudoir, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 K. Jack Sawinski hit his 14th home run. And then Jace Bowen hit a double and stole his 5th bag.
By the way, Yean opened 2 games this week. I don't know if that's something they're toying with or just the roster situation in Indianapolis, but something I noticed. Hadn't done that all year. But Altoona ended the season, regular season, in Erie against the Seawolves. Tomorrow went 5 for 16 with a double, 7 walks, and the season 272 average. Pretty solid year out of Tamar. I read something the other day that last week when they were playing in Harrisburg was the first time he's faced a pitcher in his major league career that was younger than him.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. So he's still very young for the level. Esmeralda Valdez, 2 for 12 with 2 runs, an RBI, and a walk. Omar Alfonso went 2 for 14 with the 2 walks, 4 Ks. Connor Griffin, 9 for 24, a home run, 4 RBIs. He ends his season at 337 in AA, hit over 300 at every level this year. Pretty impressive first year for the 19-year-old. And then Deuce Gorson, who's been scorching hot since August 1st. He's hit around 350, I believe. 10 for 24, 4 doubles, 1 home run, 5 RBIs, 2 walks, 8 Ks, 2 stolen bases. Is this a college bat that they took in the 10th round last year at UCLA? Is this another guy that could have emerged this year? We'll see. Tuesday, it was a 3-hit game for them. Tamar, Alfonso, and Rivas each singled. That was it. Not much happening there offensively. Wednesday, Jaden Woods, the new addition to the Arizona Fall League, 1 2/3, no hits, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Connor Griffin went 3 for 5 with his 5th homer, 4 RBIs. Hit the home run while his dad was in the booth. It was just a shot opposite field. Pretty impressive. Thursday, Wilbur Dotel, 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, 1 K. Dominic Parachi looked good. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned, 3 walks, 3 Ks. Then Tremar went 2 for 3 with a double. Friday, our friend of the pod, Antoine Kelly, went 1 2/3, 2 hits, 1 earned, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Finishes the AA season with a 3 ERA. Deuce Gorson, 4 for 5 with a double, his 5th homer, 2 RBIs. And then Saturday, Connor Weekreef made his AA debut. Looked pretty solid. 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 4 Ks. The lefty out of Minnesota has been a pretty solid arm so far at each level. Deuce Gorson went 1 for 5 with an RBI in his 10th stolen bag in AA. And then Sunday, Christian Curtis, reoccurring guest of Bucko Banner, Double-A debut, 2 innings, no hits, 3 Ks, blew 97 miles an hour past Kevin McGonigal to get the last out. Really impressive stuff. You see the upside there. You see what you can dream on with the stuff. Due scores, went 2 for 4 with 2 doubles and RBI, finishes with a 2.84 ERA. That's it for Altoona, Adam. If you want to take us through the 2 games that Greensboro played, this playoff games they played this week, go for it.
At the Brooklyn Cyclones, the high A affiliate for the New York Mets, Greensboro, 88-43. Will Taylor went 0 for 8 on the week, 4 K. Sammy Stafuro went 1 for 8 with a strikeout. Callan Moss, 4 for 7 with 2 runs, a home run, 2 RBIs, and 1 walk. Tuesday was the first division series game, 4-3 loss. Christian Curtis went 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, 4 walks, 6 Ks before being promoted to Altoona. Peyton Stumbo went 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned, no walks, 1 K. Callan Moss hit a home run, 2 RBIs, 2 hits on the day. Easton Carmichael, another friend of the show, 1 for 2 with a double. And then Thursday, they lost game 2, 4-1. Callan Moss went 2 for 3 with a 1 run. Titus Dimitru went 2 for 3 with a double and an RBI. Only 4 hits total, so not the offense that you saw all year from the Greensboro Grasshoppers, a.k.a. the Jordan Pippen Chicago Bulls that Scott declared them earlier on in the year.
I mean, the roster was gutted. Let's be honest.
It was gutted. Yeah.
Yeah, it was gutted. And I think they're really pushing for that Double-A championship because that Altoona Curve team was very good in the second half of the season. But yeah, great season from the Grasshoppers overall. Callan Moss is someone that you can dream on. I think I want to see more out of Sammy Safira, though. And I think Will Taylor is someone to keep an eye on, especially in the Arizona Fall League. So a lot happening. Adam, before we close out, no Bradenton games this week because their season's done. Let's talk about our player of the week. We could have gone with Connor Griffin again. He had a great week in Altoona. He's had a great week every week. But we're going to go with Deuce Gorson. Deuce Gorson, 10 for 24, hit 417 this week. Had 4 doubles, a home run, 2 stolen bags, 5 ribbies. Finished the season really strong, like I said, hitting nearly 350 since the start of August. This is a guy that probably will start Double-A next year, and I don't know, he could probably push for some innings at some point later next season if he continues to project upwards.
Love it. Love it. Love the variety that we've had so far. Again, it could be Connor Griffin just about any week, but there's been a lot of talent down on the farm, and the boys are finishing strong. We're going to take a quick break. Before you do, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel for more minor league interviews at Bucko Banter. Just go right below. You're watching us right now. Click that little subscribe button. Leave a comment. Tell a friend to tell a friend. If you're listening, leave a 5-star review. That helps us out a ton. You can comment, download the episodes so you know when they're dropping. Down on the Farm comes out every single Tuesday, no matter what, rain or shine. We are going to continue to do that throughout the off season and try and give you the best interviews and insights into the Pirates minor league system. Make sure you go follow us on all social media. It's Clemente Day today while we're recording, so make sure you go check out the recent Clemente video that we did with Dwayne Reeder, the founder and director of the Clemente Museum, which was an incredible experience this weekend. If you don't know, Pittsburgh has a Clemente Museum right in Lawrenceville. Go check it out. It is truly awesome. We're going to take a quick break right here, and then we'll be back with right-handed pitcher for the Altoona Curve, Joshua Loeschorn. Joining us now on Bucko Banter is current pitcher for the Altoona Curve, Joshua Loeschorn. Josh, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Josh, welcome on, man. Let's just jump right into it. You were the 20th round pick in the 2022 draft by the Pirates, coming out of a smaller school like Long Island. What was that like? Did you have an idea that you're going to be drafted? And if not, did it come to us as a surprise to you?
I had a good idea. The Pirates are actually one of the teams I was in communication with over the course of day 2 and day 3. So I had a good idea. They had some interest along with a couple other teams. So I was expecting to get into it. Maybe being a senior, things could always go either way, whether it's like under slot deals later in the draft or even undrafted free agent deals. So that was where I was going to fall in there. I didn't really know, but that was kind of what I was expecting. And I couldn't have been happier with where I landed with the Pirates.
You logged a lot of innings at LIU, especially I think it was your junior year. You threw like 90 plus innings, and I believe when you got there, it was D2, right? And then it went to
Yep.
D1 later on. How was that experience? I know, I mean, Scott played Division 3, I played Division 2. I know that doesn't necessarily mean it's better competition or worse, but like, how was that jump from D2 to D1 to professional baseball? What was that experience like, and how do you think you adjusted?
Yeah, so my freshman year, actually, we were Division 2 at LIU Post. That was a squad committed to, and then they ended up wiping out all the Division 2 programs after the first year and combined the two separate campuses into one. So that's when we jumped up to Division 1. Some of us were able to stay on from the D2 team and continue to play. The adjustment there wasn't too crazy. It was kind of just a little bit more talented players throughout the lineup. Like obviously in D2, D3, especially in those years, you still had players hitting the 3-4 hole that could get professional opportunities and were pretty good players. And then obviously jumped up to D1, just a little more depth throughout the lineup. And now coming into pro ball is like those best players we'd see in like a regional, like we went to a regional, played Maryland, guys like that. It was starting to see more hitters like that up and down lineups in pro ball. And it was just, how can you refine your approach to be able to consistently have your best stuff for those hitters 1 to 9 instead of just, all right, I really got to dial it in for, these 1 or 2 hitters in the order where it might have been at a lower level D1 or D2 type of competition.
Making that jump to pro ball, Josh, did you have like a welcome to the bigs moment?
Yeah, my first outing in Lakeland, Florida in 2023, I got knocked around, I want to say, for like 5 hits, 5 earned runs. And that was kind of like my wake up call. Like, oh, like you got to be ready to go. There's no, like, this is it, just thrown into the fire. You better be ready to go compete and get your job done, or else these hitters, they're going to jump on you. And these guys can all do damage.
What's a lot of the guys that we talk to, they say a big adjustment is just being ready either every single day or the training regimen. How has that adjustment been from being a student athlete to a full-time professional baseball player?
Honestly, it was like a load off. It was like getting out of college and the pro ball was like, I can finally commit all of my time to, what we want to do, being at the field every day. The biggest jump was definitely going from starting to relieving, and the fact that as a starter, especially in college, you're pitching 1 day every week, being able to set your routine to build around that 1 day. And now it's like, all right, now you're getting the pro ball 2 or 3 outings a week. How do you have to manipulate your throwing days to be ready for days that you're hot, but you might not go in a day, you might warm up, maybe not go in the game, but having to be kind of game ready for like 4 or 5 games out of the week instead of just 1 day. So it definitely, that first half of 2023 was definitely a big learning curve for us and other guys in our class to be, all right, shifting a new focus to maybe a little less on the training side and more just how can you continually prep to be game ready with those reps every day without either blowing your arm up too much or taking it too light, kind of striking that balance in the middle.
What would you say has been the biggest improvement to your game since joining pro ball and the Pirates organization?
I would say definitely my ability to just consistently have all 4 of my pitches available to me and having to use them in any count and just being able to throw. Just having them consistently sharp at all times. Like in college, it was always like, all right, I can go in, I can lean on my slider every day, knowing that that's pretty much going to be my strikeout pitch. But obviously, pro ball, a little more advanced scouting, better hitters. You can't just lean into a 2-strike sweeper, 0-2, 1-2 every time, expect to get a swing and miss. These guys are going to adjust. You have to be able to kind of sequence pitches a little bit better. How can I set guys up? How can I finish guys in ways that I might not have had to attack guys prior to getting here? And especially even jumping up levels, you pick up on that more and more as the hitters get better.
Has the arsenal changed since you've been to pro ball? Did the Pirates have you add anything or take away anything that you used at Long Island? And how does that sequencing work in terms of just like learning how to attack hitters? Is that just data behind the scenes, looking at the analytics before games, or is that just like on a day-to-day basis?
So I'd say we haven't added or subtracted pitches, but we've made adjustments to, I'd say, the movement profiles of each of my pitches. So when I came into pro ball, especially fastball wise, I was throwing kind of like in between a 4-seam and a sinker, a pitch that had a good amount of arm side to run, but it wouldn't really stand out in the carry or the sink department. So throwing from like a lower release height like mine, a little more, not quite a sidearm, but a lower release height. If we trying to add vertical break to the fastball, getting it to play a little bit better up in the zone. So now shifting my approach from, instead of just being a full east-west pitcher, how can I utilize all 4 quadrants of the zone with my pitches? So now it's like we try to add some more vertical break on the fastball and a little bit more on the cutter. I can now attack hitters up in the zone with those 2 pitches while being able to go a changeup down and in off something like a fastball up and in, a sweeper off of a cutter middle away. So now it kind of opens up more parts of the zone that I've been able to learn how to pitch to, instead of just, all right, I'm going to throw 4-seam, like a running fastball in on the hands, I throw a slider away, throw a cutter away, or a changeup down. Now it's like I can have multiple pitch pairings that I can throw to each quadrant of the zone. So now we do weekly advance report meetings before we face a team every week. So it gives us an idea of like, all right, where is this guy maybe swing and miss more? Where does this guy do a little bit more damage? So I can take those maybe 2 or 3 pitch groupings that I can tunnel away or I can tunnel in, and I'll tailor that to the hitter I'm facing on a day-to-day basis.
Talking about moving up to different levels, Josh, you've been at almost every level this year. I mean, you just got promoted to Altoona. Have you noticed a difference at each level that you've been to, especially in one season?
I definitely noticed coming from Bradenton to Greensboro kind of shifts from like a little bit of a younger side, the younger group of players in Bradenton, more of the younger Latins, the earlier high school guys. So that kind of more resembles what you're facing in college, a little bit more of a simplified approach, just going and get guys with your best stuff, knowing that if I do my job and execute, you can do a good job against those kind of hitters. Moving up to Greensboro, you get a little more of those higher level college guys right out of the gate. So now their patience a little better, a little less chase, a little bit more damage. So now you can refine that same thing. Hitters just get a little bit better than jumping up to Altoona now, noticing in my first outing yesterday, chase going way down, hitters with much more of an approach and more of an experienced approach at the plate. They're not just going to go up there swinging on a low slider because you're throwing it in the zone. They have much more fun of what they're looking for, knowing what they do well, as well as knowing what kind of I'm coming into the game with. So it just adds another level to that compete factor. It's like, all right, how can I, in the moment, figure out ways to get these guys out and just continue to build on that?
What about just like feeding off of your teammates? Because the Pirates organization just has arms for days. And we've had a ton of your teammates just this year on the pod. I mean, I'm probably going to miss some, but Jake Shirk, Antoine Kelly, Peyton Stumbo, Bidois, Christian Curtis has been on a couple of times. I'm probably leaving a couple off the list. And that's just like a small fraction of the arms that we have in this system. How does that help refine your game being around so many talented arms?
It's awesome. And we honestly have such a great group of guys in these last couple of draft classes that we've all gotten close with. And like, even like, I know you guys had Jared Bayless on. He's a guy I've gotten pretty close with this year, and just loving to talk the game and talk pitching with him. Just bringing that consistent energy. We all have a consistent goal of knowing we're going out there every day. How can we make ourselves better and foster an environment where not just it's an individual, like obviously we're all trying to individually get to the big leagues, but how can we get as a tight-knit group and make each other better on a daily basis, whether it's who you're playing catch with, having conversations with guys, just messing with different things that we can use to make ourselves better, then collectively continue to move up together. Like getting up here at Altoona, getting with guys that from my draft class that I played with the last 3 years is just a ton of fun. And we have a good close-knit group of guys that continue to push each other every day. And I think that just feeds off each other at all these different levels as we keep progressing.
I think we can even see it from our point of view, like talking to you guys. Like Jared Bayless, I feel like we could talk pitching for hours with him, and I know it sounds like you as well. So that's good to see. Josh, what kind of pitcher are Pirates fans getting with you?
My biggest thing, knowing my identity as a pitcher, is that I'm going to go out there pounding the strike zone with a 4 or 5 pitch mix, knowing that I can attack guys in different ways. And as I'm continuing to grow as a pitcher, trying to continue to make my stuff sharper and sharper, so that way I can elevate my stuff side of the game to pair with the pitchability and command side that kind of got me through college and got me into the pro ball scene to begin with.
What about the mental side of the game, Josh? I mean, Scott was the pitcher on this podcast, but I know it's always a mental warfare anytime you take the bump and trying to ease those nerves and just go on a pitch by pitch basis. How do you handle like the lows of baseball that are going to be inevitable?
It really is about just trying to show up to the yard every day, knowing that, especially in a 130 game season, this could be exemplified. You go out and have a bad outing on a Tuesday, knowing that, especially as a reliever, you might get another 1 or 2 outings that week. And that over the course of a 130 game season, if you're trying to ride the highs and lows, you're going to find yourself exhausted up and down and kind of chasing a bunch of different things throughout the season. And I found my best bets from leaving yesterday in the past, being able to show up to the yard with a fresh perspective every day, even if yesterday didn't go as I wanted, or you go and punch out the side the day before, showing up the next day. It's like, all right, the focus is how can I be a little bit better every day? How can I execute my routine to the best of my ability to continue to build on one day at a time, knowing that even the bad days are going to fuel good development just as much as the good days might. So being able to take that focus in every day, I think has been a big help to me, especially with the time I spent in rehab this last year and a half or so, and just getting back to playing every day. That was a big growth for me this last year or so.
Absolutely. I think having a short memory as a pitcher is very important. So,
Yeah.
Josh, before we let you go, my last question, this topic we haven't touched on yet. You've been selected to the Arizona Fall League this year. What are your thoughts about that? Are you excited to get to compete against the game's top prospects for some more ball this offseason?
Yeah, I couldn't be more excited about it, especially like coming off the injury list about halfway through this year. It kind of feels like my season's just getting started. Like I'm just kind of hit that like month or two into the season groove of like, all right, I got 25, 30 innings or so under my belt, like figuring out how refining things out in the outing. That part of it's growing, and I'm super excited to have another opportunity, another 6 weeks or so, keep picking up innings that I missed out on, keep having more developmental opportunities. Like I remember from Bayless last week, the most influential reps are come from in game, and that's going to be a big piece for Arizona. Knowing that I'm going to get to go out there, compete against some of the best prospects in the game, especially in the batter's box, is going to give me a really good idea about where my stuff currently is at and where I got to go to keep trying to build myself into a big league pitcher down the line.
Before we let you go here, Josh, my last question is something we asked to everybody. I mean, obviously you've played at every level in the Pirates organization. There's a lot of talented guys, but is there one guy, could be a pitcher, position player, that's really stood out to you that you just noticed that this is a different level of talent?
Yeah, getting the opportunity to play with Connor Griffin this year has really kind of opened my eyes to what a true generational talent like baseball player looks like. Him stepping out in the field today, and no matter what he's doing, whether it's an 0-for-4 day or a 4-4 game, he's having a positive impact on the game, offensively, defensively. Just being even-keeled mindset. It's someone that shows up to the yard every day, and he exemplifies this great. Getting to work, his routine, it's his first year pro ball, and seeing that level of maturity is, even as a guy that's 5-6 years older than him, you can take lessons from that. How he handles himself with everything going on around him is super impressive, not just on the field, but off the field as well.
Absolutely.
That's going to be a guy that helps the Pirates out for a long time, I think.
Absolutely. Well, Josh, we appreciate you coming on and joining us here. Best of luck rest of the season. Go knock out those Seawolves this week, all right? And best of luck in the Arizona Fall League as well, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on, and hopefully we can go keep chasing a ring this week without tuning up here.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Josh.
Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates, or the steak by the plates and